Hello, friend. It's been a while. I'm sorry for that. But it's time for a little check-in. Where I've been, what's going on, and yeah, just some fun, casual skincare chat. These past few years, I have loved getting to know you and hearing about what you're trying, what's working, what's not, being able to share my wisdom and my recommendations. It's been great fun, and I'm so happy to be a part of your life and for you to be a part of mine. I have definitely hit a lull in my skincare passion. There are a lot of great creators out there, content creators on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. YouTube will always hold a special place in my heart because I like this longer format. I like videos that have some effort put into them. And while I definitely am enjoying TikTok, which is why I have this set behind me, that is my TikTok world. While I like those videos, there's definitely a culture of short and rough editing, and that's fun, and it's a good chance to experiment and see how that works for my vibe with a completely different theme. If you can't tell, it's a very dark aesthetic cosplay, apothecary setting. If you're into that, definitely go check it out. Wandering Viking 47, I'll put the link down below. But back to skincare. It's not that I don't enjoy it, it's just that I think there's so much content out there that's well researched and good information and well put together. And that was part of my mission in starting this channel, was to put out more information that is well researched and comes from a place of experience and information, as opposed to a lot of information back in the day was just people guessing and a lot of trial and error. And while that's not bad, I just wanted to be one of those voices that was more information based and more research based. So I didn't feel like I needed to fill that void anymore. There's plenty of it out there. I have every intention of keeping this channel up, and when the vibe comes back for me, when inspiration returns to me, I will definitely make more videos more often. But right now, I'll just update you on some of the fun things I'm trying, and I've definitely pared my routine down, so I'll touch on that, and let's get into it. Geek and Gorgeous, Stress Less. This is a 0.5% beta glucan. It's meant to be a soothing and reparative serum. It's very simple. It has some beta glucan in it that is extracted from oats, and it also has, I'm gonna butcher this, but madecassoside? Yeah. Anyways, it's an extract of Centella asiatica, so we know that it's going to be a soothing extract, which is great. I'm using this to try to replace the modulating glucosides from Niod. If they ever bring it back, I'll be so happy and I will buy it again, but that did something magnificent to my skin and it kept it calm. And while I have managed to kind of pare my routine back, so it's just a more sensitive skin friendly routine, because I'm not trying a bunch of things, I'm not changing it up every month or two, this is cool. I've been enjoying it, and it's nice and cost effective. It is about €11, and while the US free shipping is pretty high, you can quickly assemble some great products from Geek and Gorgeous. I also want to shout out No BS Beauty, because while I did encounter Geek and Gorgeous before her videos hit, I hadn't heard about this one, and she introduced me to it, and it's wonderful. So yes, thank you to No BS Beauty. Along with that, I am continuing to use Geek and Gorgeous's A-Pad, which is a 20% Aziclair serum. So this is derivative of azelaic acid. I like it. I think this has also done a lot for just keeping the redness down in my skin. I haven't had a whole lot of problems along my notorious beard line where I get a lot of irritation. I use this day and night, just a little bit. And while it is exfoliating as an acid, it's more of an antioxidant and more calming, and it does have some brightening effects. So I will continue using that one. Also, bittersweet recommendation from No BS Beauty is the Level Serum from Regimen Labs. Now, I ran into this a while back and loved it. It's a anti-pigment, so it's brightening and evening skin tone with a blend of antioxidants. It's well packaged. It's an appropriate price for what it is. I forget what it is. I think it's like $34 for a 1 ounce, but it's very well researched. This is the nerdiest skincare brand I've ever encountered, and I love it for that. Wonderful stuff. I have yet to encounter something I don't enjoy from them. Very small range though. And yeah, so it's got not only good ingredients, but good blends of ingredients to help with brightening. And it's gentle, so highly recommend this. The only thing that annoys me is that No BS Beauty made a pitch about it and loved it and talked about it. And ever since then, I have seen them go out of stock so frequently of this product. So I'm glad so many of you are encountering it, but it does drive me nuts because I used to be able to just order it and know that it was going to come in just a couple of days because they have very quick shipping. But wonderful stuff. Enjoy it. One of the new ones that I'm trying is the Inky List Multibiotic. It is one of those products to help rebalance skin once it's been over abused and over exfoliated and just pushed too far. If you can't tell, back on the sensitive skin train. It is interesting. It's very, very lightweight, like fluid lotion texture. Great packaging, great pump, great cost effectiveness. It's like what, 11 or 12 bucks, something like that. It's fairly inexpensive. But it's meant to help bring back the natural bacteria flora on your skin once you've abused it. And those of us who have compromised skin barriers like eczema, atopic dermatitis, psoriasis, any of those inflammatory conditions tend to have a broken skin barrier that just constantly needs help repairing itself. With things like ceramides and whatever, this is supposed to help with that. I'm very early in the stages of trying it. It's definitely not moisturizing enough to use on its own, at least for me, but it is an interesting product. And onto some old favorites that I continue to use. Even Prime Daily Moisturizer. I actually don't think my initial review of this was super spectacular, but I enjoy it. I am now using it as my daily moisturizer. I use it morning and night. Sometimes I swap out nighttime for something else just to try it out, but it's great. Great pump, fun company. They're the ones who did the barrier serum, and I loved their like RPG vibe that they did with their limited edition. I will continue buying that. It is one of those subtle heroes, but this one is also one of those subtle heroes that it's just good to your skin. The ingredient list doesn't look spectacular by any means, but definitely hits middle of the road so that lots of skin types would benefit from it. All right, friend, you have seen this before, and I'm almost sorry to say it's back, but I'm not even a little bit sorry because it's wonderful and it's back for a reason. Clear Immersion Quintessential Hydration Serum Concentrate. Quite the mouthful, but action-packed serum in a very gentle way, and it's made by a phenomenal creator. She's got those recipes in her head and she knows what she's doing, and I love supporting her and I love this product. So no, this is not sponsored. I just love it and highly recommend it. It fits in perfectly with my more pared down routine. Some days in the morning I will cleanse. I'll do my hydrating essence, throw this on, throw on the daily moisturizer and a sunscreen, and I'm out the door. And while that may seem like a couple more steps than like the most basic, I know you have at least that many steps in your routine. And I feel comfortable with it. I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't feel like I'm like, oh, but I didn't put on X, Y, or Z, or that phenomenal ingredient, or that superstar ingredient, or that new hyped ingredient, or whatever. I know that I'm getting some antioxidants, some hydration, some plumping agents, and some brightening agents, and it's just a really safe bet because whether my skin's irritated or not, I feel comfortable using this, and I know that my skin is gonna have what it needs for the day, and yeah, so there's that. Love this. I know it's pricey, but it's amazing quality. It's from the right person. It's got the right stuff in it. So yeah. Going back to old favorites, Neogen Real Ferment Micro Essence. You've seen this. I know that you've tried this too, but there's a reason I came back to it. I knew I would. As soon as I decided I wasn't going to try new essences or hydrating toners or anything like that, when I was just looking for something I could rely on and trust, this is what I came back to. It's thicker than water. It's got fermented ingredients in it. It's just wonderful. It's hydrating, it's calming, it's antioxidants, it's reparative. Everything I want. I can wear it morning and night and not worry about it being too heavy or too active or anything. It's right in the middle of the road. It's right where I want it to be and does a great job. Also, can I get a shout out to those manufacturers making glass things? I probably need to do a video on eco-friendliness in cosmetics, but long and short is, if you look at the financials of how plastic is recycled from the US right now, I can't speak to anybody but the US. I will do some research so that I can. But in the US, we used to sell our recyclables to offshore companies and then ship them there so that they could be recycled and processed and whatever. In recent years, we are no longer able to ship our recyclables to practically any countries overseas. We have to do it ourselves. Imagine that. And it is no longer fiscally viable to recycle most plastics into new products, that it's just too expensive based on how much we pay workers and moving it around and transport costs and processing costs, all of that, that it's just too expensive to be realistic to recycle these things, along with us just not having the infrastructure to recycle. This one doesn't even have a number, but oh, there. Crazy. It doesn't even have a number, but not to rag on the Inky List, whatever. But plastics should have that number on the bottom telling you what type of plastic they are and how they're recycled. While the US really can only recycle, we only have the infrastructure for like 2 of them, I believe. And even those, it's so tedious and labor intensive and expensive to do it that companies just aren't doing it at this point. And so you wind up like going through the process and like rinsing this out and putting it in your recycling bin and sending it off to your single stream recycling plant. And then they look through all this stuff and clean it out and process it. So that takes time and money and energy to get it to that plant, have workers and computers and robots work through all of it and figure out what's viable, and then find out that the vast majority of it isn't viable to be recycled. And so it gets shipped off to a landfill. And so in that process, you're creating more carbon waste and more waste of resources and energy and water to begin the process of recycling a plastic bottle, and then only to have it wind up in a landfill. So shout out to the glass recyclers. It's tricky stuff to recycle, but it has more of a chance because it's more viable as a recycled product than plastic is, because it's not degrading each time you do it. Speaking of wonderful glass things, May Love Moonlight Retinol Super Serum is back on. I got a couple of them on their restock. I was trying not to be greedy, so I only got 2, but I love it. It's well packaged. It's got a wonderful strength of retinol to it. It's the 0.1%. Retinol is good for even more sensitive people. It's not like tretinoin, but you should step into it gently. So use it just a couple nights a week before you build up that tolerance and can use it every night. It's also got some great non-fragrant plant oils along with a few fragrant plant oils that drive me insane, but they haven't irritated my skin. So I use this. I love it. It's a wonderful all-in-one, so you can just cleanse, tone, use this, and go to bed. I switch off sometimes with the Geek and Gorgeous 0.1% retinol A game. Beautifully packaged, although it is in plastic. Yeah, wonderful stuff. This is a much more simple formula. It's really just the retinol and some hydrators. So if you want to be very, very simple and tweak the rest of your routine, do this one. Last but not least, the Restore Total Eye Renewal Eye Cream. It's got niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, ceramides, retinol, arnica, vitamin K, and peptides. This is my favorite eye cream of all time. I don't use eye creams. I don't really suggest them for a lot of people just because all the reasons. Treat the skin around your eye with the same care as the rest of your face, unless you have specific concerns. Mine are leaky capillaries, like the bruised under eye area, that shadow, and this has been, yeah, the best product to do some work on that. It's not perfect, and none of them will be. Even with in-office corrections, that's a hard one to target, but this seems to have been the best blend of everything, and I feel comfortable spending the amount that I do on that. Also, it's local, and it's from a place I used to work. They make a good product. This is very unique, so give that a try. Anywho, thank you for joining me. I missed you. I'm glad you took a long bit to hang out with me. I will try to stay a little bit more engaged. But like I said, I need to wait for the muse to come back. Otherwise, this just feels like a job. And I don't want it to feel like that. I want our time together to be special. And I mean, it is special. And I want it to feel that way. I want this to be fun and for me to be able to contribute something to you, as opposed to just, hey, I'm going to crank out another video because I want the views and the likes and whatever. That's not cool. And there's plenty of other people who can do a better job of that than I can. So thank you for joining me. If you want to see what I'm doing when I'm not here and you enjoy this cool set, which is actually just a corner of my bedroom, classic YouTuber style, come join me on TikTok. It's fun. It's very like a different kind of nerdy. It's fantasy and like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, and I'm learning how to make wands. I'm learning how to hand make wands. It's crazy. Super fun. But come join me over there, Wandering Viking 47. Otherwise, I will see you back here next time. Take care.